What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Bachelor Chad Podcast. Today, there's not a whole lot going on in the TV world. Nothing's really airing. I'm not on anything. So we're going to be discussing a few issues like how to get on a reality show and be answering your questions off of Instagram. So let's get in on it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit in on... We'll answer some Instagram questions. Let's see what we have here. Okay, best way to cut belly fat without a crazy workout. That's a good question. First off, in order to cut belly fat, which is one of the last parts to go, you have to cut fat all over. So, number one, figure out your caloric maintenance. So that means how many calories does your body need per day in order to stay at the same weight, stay in homeostasis. You can find that online by Googling caloric maintenance calculator. You'll type in your age, weight, male or female, height, all that stuff. It'll tell you exactly how many a day based upon your amount of exercise that you need to stay right where you are. Then once you figure out where you need to be to stay, then you cut 500 back. If you cut 500 back, you'll lose 1 pound every week. Plus the fact that you are already going to be adding in cardio. That's going to be a big one to also help out, keep your body burning fat while you're sleeping. The number one thing I can recommend to burn belly fat really is do fasted cardio in the morning before you eat no carbs, and then, like I said, cut 500 calories. That's going to be the quickest way. I can always lose about 10 pounds in 2 weeks of just straight fat if I do that. You will lose other weight in your muscles, and you will get smaller everywhere. Your face will get more trimmed. Everything will get more trimmed. But at the end of the day, if you want to burn belly fat, that's it. Doing sit-ups, it takes 250,000 sit-ups to burn 1 pound of fat. So you can't ever be reliant upon that. Let's see here. Are you still searching for Mr. Right, Miss Right, or just Miss Right now? I'm searching for Miss Right, but I'm not opposed to Miss Right now, so not really any need to elaborate on that one. What's your social security number? Well, thank you for your question, Oswells. I'm afraid I'm going to skip that one. Let's see. Can I come back to Paradise? You know, I don't know that I'll ever end up doing The Bachelor or Bachelor in Paradise ever again. I just don't think, I think that the show is morphed into something that I just don't think that they'll ever call me back, basically because of the viewers. The fans still think I'm bad. And the fact of the matter is I'm not. I would have thought that they would have given me the opportunity to show that. But that's on them, because eventually, you know, people have seen now I've done other shows, I'm not actually a horrible person. I always thought that they were going to give me, you know, this extra chance. And I know if you talk to them, they'll be like, well, we gave him a chance on Paradise. Really? I know what you wanted me to do, and I did it. Okay? You know, so the fact is, I thought that it was going to be a longer term span, but I probably won't end up doing anything Paradise, I don't believe.
I have a question for you in the chat here, Chad, from
Sure.
our YouTube viewers. So a couple weeks ago, you talked about how you like to make your dates sort of an event, sort of a marathon, where you'll start with drinks, maybe get dinner, and you end up shelling out, you know, not a small amount of cash relative to maybe how other people spend money on dates. So from It's Game Time, we have, why does a guy like Chad pay like $400 on dates when he could easily have fun spending less or have the girl pay for him?
I mean, I could have the girl pay for me. I don't know that. To me, I just don't. I know that technically it should be a move. I've done it before, but I just kind of feel like a dick a little bit. I feel like if I'm going to make the whole plans and do everything, that it's going to be on me to pay. I've actually been considering starting to do that and being like, hey, you know, you're getting some of this. But the fact of the matter is, even if I do let them get that, like get something, it's going to be like one drink. You know what I mean? And I'm a big guy, and I can drink more than one drink. And the fact is, one drink in LA is anywhere between $15 and $30. So, you know, you have 3 or 4, and there you go, bing, boom. You're at 100 and something bucks already. But there's not a lot to do that you can do cheap. I mean, the fact is, people don't really open up unless you have like at least a drink or two. And that requires you to, I'm not just going to have them straight over to my house to have a drink. If I do have them straight over to my house to have a drink, then we're going somewhere else after that to have another one, because you can't just sit at your house and then immediately stay at your house. You still have to travel somewhere to go to some other venue. I mean, unless, you know, there was like some type of arrangement made beforehand. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, yeah, I probably spend way too much money going on dates, and that's just because I I like the excitement of like hopping to different places.
It's LA though too, man. I mean, I get it. I'm married,
Right.
but my wife and I, it's expensive to go out. And for people, who might be listening from the Midwest or even the
Exactly.
East Coast, wherever, it's just different when you live in a city. You can't create as frugal of an environment for dating. And so you have to be thoughtful about the way you date out here because it is just more expensive.
That's true. That's true. And I remember when I was about 26, I took a girl out. I spent $120 in Oklahoma, and I was just like, oh my God, how did I do that? And I think at that time we had like 3 appetizers, 2 meals each, and 8 drinks each or something. We had everything. It was like there's no possible way to fit anything else into our bodies. And that to me was crazy expensive. So you can get away in the Midwest, in anywhere that's not like California, New York, or Miami. You can get away with probably like $70 over the course of a night because you can get an appetizer for $8.99 and a beer for $2.99. So it's definitely a lot different. Beer here runs you $9, $11. So it just changes the whole dynamic, and you have to plan in advance. Otherwise, you end up doing what I do, which is blowing tons and tons of money.
Chelsea J in the chat is wondering what it was like living in the famously single house.
The Famously Single House was actually crazy. So that show was super fun. It was amazing. It was me, Ronnie from Jersey Shore, Callum Best, and my friend David McIntosh, who are like, basically they took all of like the biggest like Playboy people in America, or I mean me and Ronnie, and then them two, which are like huge in the UK, and they threw us all together. So it was an absolutely wild time. We were bringing in girls and having so much fun, going out and picking up girls and doing stuff, coming back to the house. But the fact is, at the end of the day, it was a therapy show. So they didn't show a lot of the like real fun stuff, the funny stuff that happened. They kind of cut it down to the therapy, which I get, that was the basis of the show. But we were almost like, how are they going to, I mean, I guess it worked out. We were like, how are they going to show all this awesome stuff that's happened? And the fact is that at the end of the day, they didn't, because there just wasn't enough time in the episodes. But that house was absolutely insane.
Nice.
Anything else?
That's all I've got for now, but if you guys want to keep submitting questions, please do. We're here every week. And one thing I'd be wondering for our fans who are listening, if you're listening right now, if you had advice as how to date cheaper in Los Angeles, comment down below, because
I'd love to know.
I'd love some advice to figure out how I can spend less money going out, especially in a city.
Well, I think a lot of people are going to be like, go on a hike, get a cup of coffee.
Exactly, which that's not always a great first date,
It's not. The fact of the matter is, I'm not very good in physical activity. I just want to get it over with. I'm probably in pain. I'm going to be complaining. But like, if you sit me down at a table or on a beach somewhere with a girl with a drink in my hand, I know what I'm doing. Like, I'll be fine. But
So I'm interested in that, Chad, because obviously you are one of the most in shape people I know, but are you not as much of a cardio guy, it sounds like?
I just actually did cardio last night for the first time in like 7 months. So I'm trying to get shredded here. But physical activities and like hanging out isn't my thing. Like, I don't like physical activity. Like, I do them because I like being strong and I like being in shape, but I feel like that's something you do to get out of the way so that then you can do fun things.
It's more like a chore.
Right.
To
It's
set
like
yourself up to go out.
It's like brushing your teeth. Like, you're not going to go on a date and ask the girl to brush her teeth with you. Like,
So
that
Chad,
makes
as
sense.
someone who doesn't do a ton of cardio, to me you still have a pretty shredded look. What are you doing to still stay cut? Because I think a lot of guys who don't do cardio and mostly bulk up don't have the same like definition that you have.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's minimizing carbs. I mean, that's one thing I did. Like I said, just in the last 8 days, or 10 days, I've dropped like 8 pounds just by cutting carbs. So when you start cutting carbs, for every fat molecule you have in your body, it holds 6 grams of carbs to 1 gram of water. Is that right? 6 grams of carbs. Something like that. I'm pretty sure. 6 grams of carbs to 1 gram of water. So what that means is when you start cutting out carbs, all those fat molecules shrink. And that makes it just like really quickly start losing weight. Your body forces itself to start burning itself for energy. And I think the main thing, though, is really just keep your calories down. So I don't normally do cardio, but by keeping my calories down, I can maintain that same look as somebody who does a lot of cardio. Because the point of cardio is to burn calories. So if you just don't eat calories, you're going to look like somebody who does cardio.
So how do you work on that self-discipline? Like for a lot of people, it's really tough for them to not be eating, or when snack time comes or they want dessert, what are you doing? Like, what kind of mental discipline are you doing not to give into that?
I think it's just years of knowing, like after a while, when you watch yourself eat something, or when you get really shredded, when you get really in shape, that's the first thing. So when you get really in shape, you notice, let's say you eat some pizza and then you go to bed and you wake up, you will notice that your skin, between the skin and the muscle, got thicker. And then if you do that again, you will notice it again. So it's very quick to notice it. So if you have more weight, you may not notice it and you think, it's fine, I'll have like some horrible meals and maybe I won't gain weight. Like you're gaining weight. You just can't tell as much. So once you realize that everything that you go into your body has an effect on your body, then it definitely changes your mindset. Like, really, is it worth it for me to eat this pizza that's just bread and it's going to make me bloat? Or should I eat some chicken that I know that my body can turn into muscle? So it really affects the way you think, and then you basically just start choosing like each thing as fuel.
That makes sense. I appreciate the advice.
We got any other questions in there?
I think for now that's all I've got, but you guys
Okay.
know you can always hop on our YouTube page, comment down below. Chad, I know him on air and I know him off air, and he truly is a wealth of knowledge, and he's a wealth of knowledge of things that you might not expect. So we're always looking for your
thank you.
questions, guys, and we'd love to see what you got.
All right, we're gonna go through. Real quick. I'm gonna X out and bring it back up. See what questions I have on Instagram right now.
Hey, 30 minutes.
Whoop. Oh, I passed it. There we go. Why are you so stupid? That's a great question. I'm gonna move on.
Got to answer it, Chad. Come on, man.
I don't know, man. I think I fell on my head as a kid, maybe a little bit. Great question. Okay. What made me want to go into the Marines? That's actually a pretty good question. At that point in my life, I was 20. I wasn't really doing anything. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life. And it was extremely spur of the moment, actually. I remember I was hanging out in my parents' bedroom. My mom literally just saw the commercial was come on, and she was like, "Why don't you go talk to the Marines?" And I was literally it was this simple. I was like, "Okay." And the next day we went to the Marine Corps and I signed up. Just no reason. You're supposed to get like a $20,000 bonus and all these different bonuses and stuff, but the fact that we just walked in off the street, they hadn't contacted me. I got nothing. I got no like super cool job. I was an infantry anti-tank guided missileman, but yeah, it was literally random, and the only reason I guess I really went ahead and went through with it was because I thought it was going to be an extreme challenge, and I always like to push myself. And I didn't like the fact that I saw those commercials on TV and thought, I bet I could do that. Like, I think I could do that. That doesn't seem like it'd be that hard. So I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. So now every time when I see those commercials, I can be like, nah, I did that.
How was the training?
It was more so, I'll say, mentally exhausting than it was physically. So I'd played basketball, I played for some of the craziest basketball coaches ever, where we were doing an hour of sprints, What are those ones, or suicides, where you go, doot, you know what I'm talking about? Touch the free throw, back. Touch the half court,
right?
back. Yeah, worst thing ever.
Yeah.
We used to do those for like hours. Like I was the most in-shape person ever. So when it came time to do the Marine Corps, it wasn't so much like physically, like because I had done all that. It was weird aches and pains, and it was more just like annoying, like getting yelled at constantly. Carry your mattress into the shower and then sit it down. Okay, now pick it back up and take it to your bed. You're like, why did we just do that? Makes no sense. But it was just emotionally exhausting. And the thing was too as well, so like you would get these weird pains like on your feet go numb. That was the weirdest thing ever. Couldn't feel my feet for like a year. That, and then when you had the pack, so you got a pack with like 80 pounds on it, and it's just crushing into your body. So it was really weird, like I said, pains you never felt before, but it wasn't so much like that you couldn't do it. It was more so just like, it was like going on a hike, but like some kid's punching you in the leg repeatedly, and you're just kind of slightly annoyed by it. You know you can do it, but it just kind of hurts.
Nice, I like that. Well, Game Time, who had a question earlier, says, I think a lot of Chad fans are into his alpha mindset. It'd be awesome to see some workout videos from you on YouTube or maybe some vlogs that people could get into.
Yeah, I've been meaning to start doing that. I've actually really been thinking about getting into it. I think the problem is that I'm just kind of do everything solo, so I never have anybody to film. Anytime I go visit my family or I'm with friends and stuff, I always get these really cool workout videos. But if you'll notice and you check my Instagram, it's like 3 workout videos and then none for like 4 months, and then 3 workout videos and then none. Because if you just set your phone up and try and get a really good video of yourself, it just doesn't work. And it'd just be, I feel like, weird to ask some dude in the gym to be like, hey man, can you video me? But the fact is, I do very simple workouts. I'm not complicated. I do a lot of barbell bench press, incline press, military overhead, deadlift, pull-ups. So it's not like I'm doing anything like super innovative. I think doing that stuff looks absolutely awesome on Instagram, and sometimes I'll see some guys doing that stuff, and I'll go steal the workout for a couple times. But it's not necessary. You don't need to do all those weird, exciting movements. It doesn't help any more or any less. You can just hit the muscle in the exact same way and just change up the weights that you're doing, whether you're going lighter with higher reps this time, and then next time you go real heavy with real low reps. Just keep your muscle questioning. I think that's the number one thing. So it doesn't matter if you have some weird, innovative workout where some guy's using a machine that's not even built for this. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I got you. One question I have for you, Chad, about reality TV and kind of reality TV culture. A lot of, on-camera talent will talk about the fact that whoever they end up with, sort of like their ride or die life partner, they want to be in the same industry as them, especially with entertainment.
Exactly.
So do you feel like you picture your like lifelong partner as someone who works in this business or has worked into this business, or would you prefer someone who knows nothing about it?
no, I definitely have always pictured, I mean, especially the last few years, that's why I keep giving these shows a chance, is because I feel like at the end of the day, I am going to meet somebody in the same industry, and it is going to be through this weird way of meeting people like on a show. I just keep thinking like, it's like the world, like they went out and found this girl and they found her for me, and it's crazy because it happens to work out perfectly. And it's just, it almost has to be that way, because at the end of the day, once you're in this industry, like, it's just like, you know how people in the industry, like servers, waiters, they always end up dating each other because they know how each other's day went. So if you were a server and then I was in this industry and I started talking to you about publicists and some interviews I did and how this happened and that happened, you would have no clue what I was talking about. So it does help to definitely find somebody in the same industry who gets it, who just understands everything that you're doing, the life you're living, and then like where it is that you're looking at going, because a lot of people just don't understand that. So it definitely would be a bonus to meet somebody here, and I do hope that I do, but if not, I'm also not opposed to it.
Especially with those hours. That's what people don't realize is production
Yeah.
hours are just nuts.
And people don't realize, like, in this industry, you might have, so I've had some girls where they look at me weird, like on Monday morning, I wake up, and they're like, so what are you doing today? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I might have like 10 days where I do absolutely nothing. And then all of a sudden I've got 7 interviews on Tuesday, a podcast, and like this, that, and I got to do this, another meeting, and it just be crammed that entire week or the rest of the month. But the fact is that there's some times where there's just downtime, and you just hang out. You wake up and you go eat breakfast, and you go to the beach, you do whatever you want. And it's just kind of something that, and when you are during those downtimes, you want somebody that like understands and can go with you. It stinks to have those downtimes and you're like, what are you doing? And they're like, well, I work till 8 o'clock. And you're like, oh, I guess I'll just sit here until then.
Definitely. Well, Chad, man, it's been great to learn. I've got nothing on my end question-wise, and if you have anything we can see, but if not, I think it's been a great show.
Yeah, let's see. Let's go see if there's anything super interesting here I can or somebody asks. Let's see real quick. People are always asking me how I'm so vascular. Is it diet, genetics, or both? I think that's due to the fact that, like, at one point I was 250. I had like almost 20-inch arms. I was really big, really strong, and once you stretch out your veins because they're having to pump more blood to your body, then they never really go back. Your veins are like the one part of your body. Like your muscles will shrink, but your veins stay the same size. It's like when you blow up a balloon. When you blow up a balloon and then it never really goes back to its original shape. They're always a little bit stretched out once you've blown it up once. So I think that that's the same way with veins, and it just has to do with strength and having upped your size for a while. And then let's see, I saw one more good question that I was going to ask. Who is my celebrity crush? Oh, that's a good question. I'll be honest, I don't really have that many celebrity crushes. I just like regular Instagram girls and things like that. There's not any like specific actresses. I did like Kristen Stewart. I liked her. And then Alexis Rin. I don't know if you consider her a celebrity. She's more like an Instagram person, but
Do you feel like you have a
definitely those
type,
two.
Chad, in terms of women you're attracted to?
I definitely have a type in terms of like their face. So like if you ever look at their faces, they all pretty much look the same. But in terms of everything else, not necessarily. I mean, I normally go for blondes, but I'm not opposed to brunettes.
Yeah, both the people you named are brunettes, right?
Well, Alexis Rin, I think she was blonde. Maybe she's brunette now. I'm not sure.
Well, to each
But-
their own.
Yeah, one's blonde, one's brunette. So like a mixture of both. I mean, I kind of know what body type I like. I know what personality I like, and I just it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter to me if you're famous or not. You know, the only thing that, like I said, does help is if I actually am going to have a relationship with you. It does help so that you understand kind of the world I'm living in, and that's about it.
Nice, man. Well, thank you for
Yeah.
answering these questions. And guys, you know Chad's here every Tuesday, so you can always be sending him those questions. You can do it on Instagram, or if you want to do it on Twitter. Chad, where can the people find you if they
Everybody
want?
can find me on Twitter at RealChadJohnson, on Instagram at RealChadJohnson, Facebook at RealChadJohnson. And just want to say thank you guys for listening. I know we created a show basically today out of thin air because we didn't really have a whole lot to go on today. But thank you so much for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for next time.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.